So it's the second race of the weekend for the Intersteps, and it's Matt Parry and Matt Mason on the front row. Second row is Cameron Twyman and Liam Venter. Well, we're about to go racing. The red lights go out, and these Formula BMW cars, as they were a few years ago, get away. It's a poor start from, I think, Cameron Twyman there from third, but the top two head into the into paddock, and then leading a huge gap of the cars was Jan Sweater. He's made a good start, and look at this, they go three wide up the hill. That's a couple of the one of the teammate cars. I think they were the Fortec cars running off the road, the yellow and blue cars, but here they come down to Graham Hill Bend. The top few cars starting to spread out, but certainly they're in the mid-pack and towards the back. They are very close indeed. It is Matt Parry that leads in the Caterham F1 team liveried machine. The second position, we see Matt Mason, who number 1 ahead number 14, the two Brits running at the front of the pack then. Running in third is Liam Venter then, and here they come across the line, then nose to tail here, the two more of the teammates really scrapping it out into Paddock Hill Bend. That is, as they go side by side almost. It's Cameron Twyman and Jack Aitken right together. Aitken looking up on the inside, perhaps trying to get up on the inside for Druid. He can't do that though. So the two Brits battle this out down the hill. They're absolutely together. The 2002 Mygale chassis, BMW bike engine in there. 15 to 19-year-olds. These, well, I say, used to be Formula BMW machines when they run in the Toka package. Now the Intersteps Championship, and really trying to come through now is Jack Aitken, trying to get ahead of Cameron Twyman. Here he comes around the outside, then he cuts in. This is a great move. Superb bit of motivation there. He cut inside. They say exit to Clark Curve. That's given the inside line for Paddock Hill Bend, and that's allowed him through. So Jack Aitken goes ahead of Cameron Twyman as they headed into Paddock Hill Bend. So now they head up the hill. That's a really precise move. There wasn't much room to play with, but he made it work. Meanwhile, the battle up for third. Liam Venter is just ahead of Jan Sweater. Jan Sweater, the Swiss, and Liam Venter, the South African. So a multi-nation battle for third position. And nose to tail as they head through clearways. Then on to Clark Curve. There's about a car length between the two machines. Then they crossed the line last time. There was a gap of 0.3 of a second between the two cars. That comes down to 0.2 now as they head into Paddock Hill Bend. They're now already 3.5 seconds off the leader, so the two Mats are getting away. But this battle for third position certainly is an interesting one to watch. So then they put the brakes on for Graham Hill Bend. Still that car length or so that separate the two cars at the moment. But a good slipstream perhaps down the Barron Straight could change all that. So, and look, go over that swooping line is the South African, the Swiss even, Jan Sweater, chasing after Liam Venter. Here they come then. They will cross the line to complete the fourth lap already. They switch from the pit wall side to the racing line as they head into Paddock Hill Bend, and still Sweater just not quite close enough to have a go, but side by side the two teammates further back having a great scrap as they head through Paddock Hill Bend. That is the battle between Nitschka Midakov, the Russian, and Lasse Halmanen, the Finn. The battle for what is 7th position in this race. So great scrap for them as they now head down into 30s. So here they come through Clark Curve. Not too far behind them is Matteo Ferrier, the Italian, who runs in the final and 9th position. But here they come then in the slipstream, darted out the last second, staying on the defensive line there with Milikov, and Halmanen trying to come round the outside. Wasn't able to do that, but now that's a great run up the hill. He squeezes his way up on the inside line, and then that will give him the position. Does it? Yes, I think it does. So the two cars are swapped around as they now head down the hill, down towards Graham Hill Bend. So Lasse Halmanen, the Finnish driver, is now headed to the Russian Nitschka Milikov. So, leaders, meanwhile, through Clark Curve, Matt Parry, still that rough, the second lead he has got over Matt Mason. And then the battle for third still continues. It's about that car length, but it has been for a while now, but separated Liam Venter and Jan Schwitter. And they head down the hill, and they climb back up it towards the Druids hairpin. About second behind him and closing is Jack Akerkin. Remember, we saw him come up the field earlier in the proceedings here at Brands Hatch. So through Clark Curve they come. You can see it's now slightly more than a car length. So interesting to see what happens as this race goes on. In the paddock again. We've got, like I say, Jack Aitken and Cameron Twyman closing them in as they head up into Druids and round the right-handed hairpin, and we can see Schwitter right there behind Venter as they head now through Graham Hill Bend. And I can tell you that we've had an off for Lasse Hamilton. He was running in 7th position, but he's had a trip through the gravel trap that's cost him something like 6 seconds, so he's dropped to the back of the pack. And you see the dust just settling over Clark Curve, where he ran off. Now, what are we going to see this time from the Swiss? And he heading to paddock, we see nothing. Schwitter stays behind Venter as they head through the corner then. And they exit Druids hairpin now then. And you can definitely see that Cameron Twyman, Liam Venter and Cameron Twyman, who's a bit behind Venter, are closing in these two cars. There's perhaps a little bit of scrapping is the case here today. So through clearways they go then. This battle for third position continues. And now down towards Paddock Hill Bend they go then. And it's still that 12th car sitting there in 4th position. That is Jan Schwitter. Now you can definitely see the car behind Schwitter. Jack Aitken is closing the Brit to make it the third nation who'll be involved in this battle for third. He's almost there now, just another lap or so, and I'm sure he'll be right on him. Fastest lap of the race has been set by Matt Parry at 47.263. But now into clearways, here comes Schwitter. He goes round the outside, can't get that one done. But that sweeping line then trying to get onto the back of the car in front to try and slipstream him down into Paddock Hill Bend. Great slipstream these cars do get. Great, these very close races. Superb stuff we've seen for this battle for third. Onto the brakes they go then. And the Venter still staying in front. And now the three of them all together because Jack Aitken is right there. Because now head up the hill towards Druids again. 20-minute race for these guys, so still about 12 minutes of the race to go. And certainly enjoying this one up here in the commentary box because it's very close racing. And also let you know that Matt Mason in second, set his personal best last time by, just a tenth of a second slower than Matt Parry, 47.3 for him. Average speed of 92 miles per hour. Shows you how quick these cars are lapping the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, 47 seconds. So here comes this battle for third up across the line. They swoop to the top of the hill and then they turn through the right-hander, Paddock Hill Bend, all together, third, fourth and fifth as they head up the hill. And then they turn into the right-handed hairpin at Druids. And then they will blast down the hill, down towards Graham Hill Bend. And now it almost, now I was going to say, but it all changed with Graham Hill Bend. I was going to say that Jake Atkin it was closer to Jan Schwitter than he was to the car in front. But he had a very good run through Graham Hill Bend for Schwitter. He's right on the back of Liam Venter now, but he still cannot do anything, so he has to go back sweeping line through clearways, and now he's got a great run off the corner. What can he do as they head down towards Paddock Hill Bend? He's surely going to sit right there in the slipstream. That's exactly what he's doing. But before they head to the corner, Venter doesn't defend the line, but Schwitter doesn't go for the attack either as they turn into the right hand there at Paddock Hill Bend. So that means he can stay in front. And now again, as he was able to recover slightly, was Jack Aitken. He's right there now, once again, with the battle for third position in this race. So up into 30s they go then, the three cars through the right-handed corner of clearways, and then Clark Curve, and then they will cross the line to complete yet another lap of this Brands Hatch Indy circuit. Now Cameron Twyman, we have to watch him because he will be trying to close it to the cars in front of him. The battle for third, fourth, fifth, and you can definitely see the Twymans closing in. Meanwhile, Liam Venter just starting to slightly gap the car in front of him. So the race continues here at Brands Hatch then. Great racing, like I say, from these Interstep cars and drivers. So up the hill they go then, up into Druids for sorry, not. We've got a slight technical problems up in the commentary box. Our screen died slightly there, but we're back. We're back here in the commentary box now, and into Druids then. Into Druids comes this battle for third, fourth and fifth, right? Yes. Into Druids. We almost had another technical problem here in the commentary box, but again, like I say, we're back to seeing what you are seeing on your screens. 8 minutes to go of the race, and now we can see that Cameron Twyman is yet edging closer to the cars in front of him. So it's his teammate just in front of him, Jack Aitken. But into Paddock, here they come. There is the number 3 car. That is Jack Aitken. As they head downhill, they rush back up in again. Up into Druids, these single-seater cars. Really very fast. And then back down the hill. Next weekend we'll be seeing the German touring cars arriving at Brands Hatch on the 18th, 19th and 20th of May, where we see the fastest laps, well we will see the fastest laps of the Brands Hatch Indy circuit set for the year. Just around 40 seconds, but of course also the Formula 3 cars here, the Euro Series machines, which will also be setting just as quick times in the 30s there. We see a change because Nidka Milkonova and Lasse Halmonen absolutely together once again, and we've already seen Halmonen get ahead of Matteo Ferreira. But now, here they come into Paddock Hill Bend. We're going to try and spot some numbers for you. There he is, number 6. That is the car of Lasse Halmonen. So he's still behind Nitka Meldkov, the Russian, ahead of the Finn, as they head up into the left side by side. Here we go then. And just they're onto the grass there. And then beneath the inside line. So they almost make contact as they head through Druids, through Graham Hill Bend. They're just not squeezing each other onto the grass. They're going to run side by side through 30s as well. They've been side by side now for half a lap around this circuit. And they continue to go almost side by side. And we got side by side in front as well. Aitken, here he goes. On the inside, he's got 4th position. And this is going to push Schwitter down to 6th because Cameron Twyman saw the opportunity happening. And now we go back to this battle for 7th position. We're seeing the Italian Matteo Ferreira close them in as they head side by side still into Paddock Hill Bend. Still Milkonov versus Halmonen, the Russian versus the Finn, as they head now up the hill. I think they've sorted themselves up settled themselves out as they went through the right-hander now then. Yes, they have sorted themselves out, but now it's a three-way scrap. 7th, 8th and 9th are all together as they head down into Graham Hill Bend. Just over 5 minutes left on the clock, so they've got to sort themselves out quickly because the race will soon be over. So as I head up into McLaren, through the right-hander here, and quickly away there, and then on to Clark Curve. When we get time, we'll try and update you on how the championship is looking at the moment, but the battles are thick and fast at the moment, and round the outside here, attempts. Halmanen, he's still trying to kind of play past Milkolov, but he cannot do it as of yet, as they head up the hill, up towards Graham, up to Druids and down to Graham Hill Bend. Now the three of them absolutely together. Halmanen, remember making that mistake earlier after he got 7th, but can he do it again? Halmanen running 5th in the championship coming into this race, will equal 4th in fact with Liam Venter. And meanwhile the battle for 3rd head through Paddock, and we've got Liam Venter just ahead of Jake Atkin, and then behind the 7th, 8th and 9th scrap across the line. Nikola Mirkov for 6th and 9th, and Matteo Ferreira after quite a few non-finishes sits a 10th in the championship. 11th, sorry. The people that aren't here this weekend, unfortunately, is Franco Aragonés and James Fletcher, who sits 6th on the championship after yesterday's race. He was up in 4th before the weekend, and round the outside into Graham Hill Bend. Can't get quite done there. I think that was Milkov and Halmanen still absolutely scrapping it out as they head into 30s. Can Matteo Ferreira find his way any further up the order? At the front, still Matt Parry leads Matt Mason. Matt Mason leads the championship into this race by 7 points. Then two are thoroughly dominating proceedings in the championship, but if it stays as it is, Matt Parry with the fastest out of the pole positions is going to have X points. And in the paddock once again, Milkov trying to find a way past Halmanen. It will mean that Pat Parry leads the championship after this race by 1 point to Matt Mason. So that shows you the next person, Jack Aitken, is a good 70 points behind. But look at this, running off the road there for Halmanen. So Mirkov getting ahead of Halmanen, and then Matteo Ferreira trying to come through as well. Here into Paddock Hill Bend, trying to come round the outside there of Liam Venter was Jack Aitken, but then he gets a great run out of the corner. Venter pushes him to the grass, but Venter holds his ground and still run on the inside. He slides out wide and all over the grass, all the way down the hill, flat to the floor is Liam Venter with the throttle, and he managed to stay on the circuit. Get back on the circuit by the corner, and he's still in 4th position. Incredible stuff, but now behind him Cameron Twyman, he's trying to find a way past. So Aitken, Twyman, 2 teammates working their way up the order because they were 5th and 6th earlier, now they're 3rd and 5th, and Twyman trying to get 4th. So heading now down the slight slope there, down the Bram Trail, and then into Paddock Hill Bend. Venter, I think now has managed to defend off at the moment Cameron Twyman. Not too long to go. I think they're fitting something like 3 or 4 laps in the remaining time. So by Jack Aitken now up into 3rd, that give him a few extra points to take away from this race. Side by side continuing between Mildakov and Halmanen, as these two have been side by side for the majority of the second half of this race. They now continue side by side. Can these two teammates keep themselves off the grass? No, they can't. But they head down the hill, but I think that's Halmanen just losing out there. And the battle for 4th position continues because round the outside again comes Cameron Twyman, the Brit trying to gain a position. Now he's going to do exactly what his teammate did, but he hasn't got quite such a good run down the hill. But Venter still has to defend the line because the car's absolutely together as they head up the hill. They come through the right-hander. Now this could give Switter a good opportunity because Twyman was running that wide, but it didn't come to anything. You can see the grass all on the circuit there from where Liam Venter run off the road. Now here comes round the outside for 30s. Unable to do that though is Switter. The top 2 are about over 10 seconds up the road, so you haven't going to see much of them because of the great scrapping Team down the order, and side by side continuing here. They're still side by side. And on the inside line there, Mildekov, Hellman on the outside. So they've sorted themselves out, just about. Now we're back to this battle for fifth. It's changed to 12 guy in front, and has there been a problem here because the two of them have fallen well off Liam Venter, and Jan Switcher's now ahead of Cameron Twyman, so I reckon the two of them must have had an off somewhere there because both of them have lost an incredible amount of time. They're 2.5 seconds or so slow, and they should have been on that lap. So 1 lap to go for the race leader, the Caterham F1 liveried machine. Caterham young scholarship driver is Matt Parry. He leads by a good 5 seconds or so. He's not even that far behind his battle for 7th, 8th and 9th. Another 5 minutes or so, may well have been able to lap them because good second Matt Parry's lapping quicker than Mildekov, Hellman and Ferrier as they head into 30th up into clearways. But it looks like Matt Parry with this victory is going to take the championship lead now in the Intersteps Championship here past Matt Mason then. This will be Matt Parry's 4th win of the year, the 2nd win this weekend. So for victory, Matt Parry will take the second flag then. Matt Mason will finish in 2nd here, drop down to 2nd in the championship. He's finished though on the podium every race. In fact, he had been in the top 2 in every single race. Jake Adkin, after a nice drive through the field, was 6th after lap 1. He finished 3rd, and that's his 2nd best result of the year. He won in round 5. The only person not to win, apart from Matt Mason and Matt Parry. So the only person to win apart from Matt Mason and Matt Parry. Liam Venter will now move up to 4th in the championship after that 4th position. And here are our official classification. Matt Parry was your race winner.